Hello, party people. How are you, Ariel?
How's it going, Marcus? I'm doing great.
Absolute fantastic. I've had just some issues with my stupid Elgato microphone because it doesn't work with StreamYard. I can't get it running with StreamYard. I don't know why. Anyway, that's a different story. Anyway,
well, I'm just glad we are back again with the live stream.
It's just I know we talked about we have to do this every Sunday, but it doesn't work all the time. It's just when you have family, when you have to do this and this, it's just so hard. Really, I'm sorry. It's not an excuse, but sometimes that's how it is. I can't. It's just 24 hours per day, and that's how it is.
Yeah, I definitely missed it because I do enjoy these live streams. You get a different kind of energy during the live streams with all the comments, and absolutely, I really enjoy that.
Yeah. So first of all, say to all the million of viewers what we have, sound and picture, video, everything's fine, especially sound. Because I have no idea how I sound on the other end. And I was hoping I can use this because this is a much better quality, but somehow, I don't know what's going on, but USB or StreamYard doesn't like USB microphones. I have no idea why.
Well, let me tell you, I have a very good microphone. It's like $1,300. Okay. And I've never used it for this. Of course, I use it for my guitar stuff. Because of that, you have to set it up and then the program and this and that. I mean, with my phone, I just turn it on and it works, and people can hear me. So, yeah.
But the thing is, I'm using this microphone for OBS recording. So I started StreamYard. I come into the studio. Oh, no microphone. Okay, click. No microphone. Go to OBS. Microphone. Huh? What the? It works. It just doesn't work with stream. I don't know why. Anyway, different story. It's just annoying, because you go 15 minutes before the stream start. You set up everything the day before. Everything looks like work, but I haven't checked the audio because this is such a easy thing actually. But it's not. It's not. Anyway, that's not the topic today. We're not talking about stupid microphones. Now, I like to talk about modern gaming. So, what is wrong with modern gaming in regards of mostly the feeling what I have when I start a new game? And so one of the game I like to talk about is Astro Bot. In my video, I always call it Astro Boy. I don't know why, but anyway, the title is Astro Bot. And because this game reviewed or received great reviews, 95% Metacritic, I think, or 94, something like that. So really absolutely fantastic. And I was, absolutely hyped. I bought the game. It's on my table somewhere. And I started playing. And I say, it's a nice game, but I can't feel this hype. I can't feel this hype, anymore. So it's not just with this game. It's in general like that, And this is one of the topics I like to talk, and also in what is wrong with modern gaming in regards of picture quality, because modern games, most of them, they're just looking like shit, full stop, on console especially, but that's the two topics. Ariel?
Oh, yeah. Is that Astro Bot the VR? It wasn't originally VR?
No. So they put, I think, the Astro Playground, what was the first title? I think they're having a VR edition now, or it's in planning, or maybe already released. I'm not into VR at all. Sorry to say. So that's the thing, and this is a new game. Okay, that's a new game, a brand new 3D jump and run. Okay, I can for sure. You know what? See, I was thinking about maybe I put my other capturing card on and I just capture a little bit of gameplay, but I was like, I was fighting with the stupid microphone. No, but it's.
I just thought that that one that you review, your latest video. I know that's like the second one they do.
Yes.
I thought that was originally VR, and then they did this as an adaptation. I'm not sure though. I'm looking it up.
To be honest, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe they decided at some point to change it. I really don't know. Well, maybe someone from the audience can help.
Yeah, but totally. I definitely get what you are saying. with modern games today, because right now I'm actually finishing Red Dead Redemption 2. I played the game before, but I never finished it. And now I am close to the end, and I've been playing it like every day. This week I didn't even make more videos, and it's because I was playing Red Dead. I'm like locked in playing the game because it's so it's something completely
It's a
at
different
another level.
experience. Yeah.
It's just another level, and it reminds me why I like to play games, and that's a feeling that I was missing. I've been missing for a long time. I mean, Elden Ring was the last game where I was really, feeling like it, because it's a great, fantastic game. But the last few games that I've been playing, it's not like it's not compelling enough for me.
Is it
So
because we're getting older and you know what I mean? Is it us, or has something else changed? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if it's definitely not the graphics. I mean, games are not perfect today, and they have a bunch of issues that we complain about. HDR, they look washed out and all of that. But I don't know. I feel like just the story alone of Red Dead 2 is just a game telling a story that's so good. It is so mind blowing. Of course, I know Rockstar, $500 million, I think, was the budget for Red Dead. So of course we cannot compare that with all the games coming out. But yeah, I want to have that feeling of playing a game and just being locked in and just not thinking about anything else. And yeah, these latest games are not doing that for me.
Yeah, I know. So I mean, again, those are two things, So first of all, the excitement is not there anymore. This is probably really age related, because you have seen it already, So there's not a new thing anymore. Okay, so in general, in games, Okay, of course, the first time when I saw Red Dead Redemption, because I played the first part, yes, on Xbox 360, or what was it? I can't remember. It was already wow. Okay, this is great. You just get on your horse and you just that's just this direction. Whatever. Let's see what's happening. And then there's the second part. And you start in the snowstorm and whatever, and you see the details that you ride actually with your horse, and then wait a moment, is this horse getting actually more snow? Yeah, there's more snow now on the bloody hell. This is the details in this game. It's just astounding. There's not a single other game which can compete in like that, with animation and quality of the soundtrack and talk. Is that there's even, I think that's the first time in a video game they have different loudness for character. The far you away, you can't hardly hear them anymore. You have to go closer again. Stuff like that. Very fine details. And this is what makes this game absolutely fantastic. But in general, I don't have this, Astro Bot was released, Monday comes, well, it was already released, but Monday is the official release for Space Marine 2, which doesn't look too bad, But this is all, okay, let's have a look on the game, but I'm not expecting much, and I'm not getting hyped, like this.
Yeah.
It's just, there's not I don't know. This year, I mean, Zelda is coming, yes, which looks great, but this is also, you have seen this already for sure. You know what I mean? It's sad somehow.
Yeah, like you said, the first impression of the games. For example, I opened this Space Marine 2, and the first impression of the game is a CGI cutscene. That's a video. So that's a big. I mean, that's a no-go in my opinion. Why are they still putting videos on the game? The videos look worse than the game because they are usually low bit rate and they look bad. Just the video itself. The video has black bars that look completely washed out and pixelated. The black bars on the video look terribly bad. So it's just a very, very bad impression of the game. The game seems to be very fun. The gameplay is great, but I didn't like the color grading of the game. I cannot say that it has a black level race or it looks completely washed out, because it doesn't. And actually, I like the calibration settings that they have for SDR, but the colors look super desaturated. Everything looks off, in my opinion. Hey, what's up, KG?
KG is here in the house. If you don't know this guy, then check out his channel. He's doing a lot of TV testing and stuff like that and comparing. He's good. I like him. So what is he writing? I feel it modern games started to get worse and worse. There's too much onboarding and hand-holding. They treat gamers like they're stupid and can't figure out mechanics. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's also a thing. You know, would you like to play the tutorial? No, I played million of games. I know how to, you know, just let me start. You know what I mean? And what I hate is, what I really hate is, and that's why sometimes I can't play Japanese RPGs. You know, because you have an intro of 30 minutes or whatever, where you maybe press twice the X button during this time. So you're watching actually something. So if I like to play a game, I like to play a game, okay? Not watching, okay? So because then I go to the cinema. But yeah, now he's not wrong, you know? So modern games, I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, when I come home from work or whatever, I don't want to. So Elden Ring, for an example, is not a game for me. I have to admit. Even I like the graphic, the setting is absolutely fantastic, and the bosses are looking wow, but it's just too hard for me, because I don't have the patience anymore to learn for hours, you know, how to react to something. That's just me, you know. Other people love it. I loved back then Demon Souls. I loved it. I loved it, you know, and I smashed a controller because of this game on the wall, because you know, but I still continue playing. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, but what KG was saying, hand holding, that's I mean, Elden Ring is like all the opposite of hand holding. The game doesn't tell you where to go. I mean, barely tells you what to do. And yeah, the majority of games today, they are either linear, so you just go forward, or they have a mini map and they tell you like, go here and do this. For example, I don't know why more games don't copy Red Dead Redemption 2 in this regard, because Red Dead has a map, and you can open it, you see where the objective is and all of that. But first of all, you can get rid of it on the fly. Something as simple as that. I don't like to be playing the game with a mini map all the time there, especially. But there's a lot of games where it's like mandatory. If you don't have the mini map, you cannot even play the thing. But just find creative ways to send you where you need to go. Like Ghost of Tsushima, you have the wind, you know, just directing you where to go. That's still telling you go here, but you know, it's something different than just following a GPS. It seems like you're driving to go to work or something. Have a GPS, go here, turn right, turn left. It doesn't feel.
I mean, so my best experience what I ever had with a video game was Broken Sword. I don't know if you know the click and click. What's the click and point adventure? Click and point adventure. Broken Sword. And so that was the first part, and it was on PlayStation 1. So, and this was with controller, whatever, but it's a click and point. And I started playing this game, and the music, the sound, the story, and all the stuff what happened, you know, it was just wow, fascinating, absolutely. And I played this game it without any hints and whatsoever, and I finished it, and it was just a magic experience back then. You know, now when I think they have 6 parts now, or five or whatever. If I try part number 5, which I have on Steam, you start the game, you know, do a little bit. It's, I don't know, why is it not the same feeling? You know? It's the same character. You know, the music sounds similar, but it doesn't kick in. You know, I don't understand it.
Check that one out.
Really think it's something with there comes by the way, there is I think another remake or release planned from Broken Sword this month, which I will get because I'm a huge fan. But again, I'm not expecting that I'm falling back in love with this game. I think it's really, in my case, has to do something with age, you know, because you have different interests. You must have different interests because now you have a family, since years already a family. But that's probably the thing. You come home from work, you're okay, let's play something. Oh shit, I'm tired.
No, for me, I mean, definitely for me, getting a driver's license and driving definitely killed racing games for me. I mean,
it's not how I played it.
Yeah, from me getting old, I think that's the only thing that really changed. I mean, there's no way you can get that driving experience that when you're actually driving. So that kills the racing games for me. So the games need to do a lot more than just race the car. But aside from that, I think I still enjoy most of the same things. So I don't think it's because I'm getting older then the games now suck or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, and the next thing is, of course, the visual quality. So not graphics, visual quality, or picture quality, or whatever you want to call it. It's just terrible. It's the same with Wukong and Star Wars Outlaws. It's terrible on the console, to be honest. It's just it's a blurry mess. I have really the feeling so what I like, so I get it. So when Wukong is as a game, you stand still, you look at the environment and whatever, and say, oh, this is really great details. I have here a little bit of leaf and stuff. Yeah, absolutely, I understand. There's tons of details, but as soon you move, you can't see shit anymore because it's just blurry mess. So Astro Bot, on the other hand, it's very simple. There's not much details, very easy textures, but it's an absolutely clean game. You move around, there's no aliasing, there's no shimmering, it's absolutely clean. And I prefer this over Wukong any day, full stop. Because you can see the stuff, at least. So Wukong, you have to have a proper PC, and even my 4080 is not good enough to have really all the details and whatsoever in a good frame rate. But even then it looks washed out. You talked about this in one of your videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, people sometimes might think that I'm complaining because the game looks blurry in motion or something. It's because I am picky. So the matter is not that I am picky. Oh, I cannot play games if they are not like 8K or something. Because I used to play games on a very low end PC and a 720p office monitor that looked terrible. That's what I had. So I can definitely, play games that look ugly. But the thing is, it's bothersome. Like when if you move, everything looks blurry, or it bothers you to the point where it's not a nice experience to play the game. That's when it becomes a problem. It's like an accessibility thing. That's bothersome.
So KG is running Elden Ring was brilliant because you can't play it at your you can play it at your own pace and you get rewarded for exploring. If you explore, you get easier bosses and enemies, but if you go main pass, you face hard bosses only. I mean, yeah. So Elden Ring is not a straightforward game, absolutely, and it's a very hard learning curve, in my opinion. Because you die a lot like crazy. But you're right. It's rewarding because when you walk to Elden Ring. I started and I just walked and I said, oh, this guy, let's kill this guy. No, he killed me. I was like, okay, that's not the right thing to do. It's fun. It's just fun.
Yeah, what KG is saying basically, you cannot. You wanna play the game. You don't wanna be running past enemies and going to the main boss, because that's gonna catch up to you. You want to learn, you want to beat everything, you want to take it slowly, really beat the game. I mean, Elden Ring is like my number 2 ever. I mean, I'm a Souls fan. That's definitely the kind of games that I like. And I saw KG playing Wukong. He was almost at the end, so he definitely plays those games too. My favorite game is Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite game ever.
I know what you mean. That the gameplay is absolutely fantastic, but it's also a game for me where at some point I just gave up. So it's just I tried everything, and that's it for me. Wukong was much easier for me. Wukong is not on the same level as Elden Ring, not at all. It's some like, but it's more for the wider audience, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Does it have difficulty settings? Wukong?
That's a good question. Is it? Has it?
I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I would definitely.
I can't remember. I can't remember what came up when you press new game or whatever. I literally can't remember. If there was, then I choose probably story mode. Give me.
Yeah, I mean, that was one game I was really excited to play, and I just didn't like the benchmark. So I'm letting it rest in my mind, just waiting. They should improve things, and then I would definitely play it for sure.
Yeah. So Dr. Gonzo became a YouTube member. I don't know if this is for my channel or for your channel, but thank you very much anyway. You know, this is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, Dr. Gonzo. And I hope you're still in the chat. I'm not sure, I can't see you, but feel free to ask any questions. Not any, not all. We can't answer everything. We are very wise men, you know, especially Ariel, you know, but anyway, just if you have any questions, by the way, just put a Q in front or whatever, or if you want, super chats are highly recommended. But if you have questions, put a Q in the comments, in front of the comments, because it's so much easier for us to see them. But again, thank you very much, Dr. Gonzo. I'm just going to the comments because there are for sure a couple of comments we missed so far. Like this one here. Robert Alexanderson. Why do you think so many games have black level rays? I don't the devs understand how it works, or is it creators' intent? Both probably. Both. Some of them don't understand, and then it's creators' intent. For Astro Bot, it's for sure creators' intent, because the game can clearly output 0 nits during certain situations, especially when you die or whatever, you know, and stuff like that. So there's no elevated black levels. It's just this Starfield look. You know what I mean? I don't know why. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't. You start playing this game and you clearly. So I mean that's me, because experience, and for Ariel probably the same. You start a game and say, no, that's not right. That's not right. It doesn't
definitely.
look. It's washed out. Full stop. You know.
I watched your video.
Yeah.
And the signal was like at the top.
Like, yeah. So but you can see that as soon there's text on the screen or whatever, you can see the minutes is 0. That means the game actually is not. It's not like elevating everything. It's just, you know, the signal is 0, and then they decided not to do anything, and then here we start with the signal. Maybe start with the picture. So this is, I don't understand this. It just looks off, and I get so many comments actually in my videos, and I was, so not nice comments. So you know what I mean. But they're asking, what do you expect? Not every game can should display 0 nits and whatsoever. So you're wrong. You're wrong, because if you, let's say, so I don't know how to explain, but if you don't use the full dynamic range, you know, in the regards of displaying your content, you have not a good contrast. That's the problem. And now we're talking about HDR, where we have crazy dynamic range actually, and now you're limiting this already. You know what I mean? And the thing is, in SDR, yes, it does look better in SDR, because you have it looks like a little bit lower. I can't measure it, unfortunately, with the HDR analyzer tool, but it also looks wrong, because you also have slightly lifted, you know, a picture, and in SDR the dynamic range is even lower, you know, so it looks absolutely not good. It looks much better in HDR, but you can clearly see it's off. And
yeah, for me, when you see the SDR picture looking completely different, then that's not the creator's intent on HDR. It's something that went wrong with it. I don't know why or what, but there is something wrong with the gamma. Something has to be wrong.
And I mean, I have done a lot of HDR SDR comparisons, and in games with very good HDR, very good SDR, you can not see a difference in the average picture brightness between SDR and HDR, which should be the case. So that means if you have a normal, so I'm not talking about specular highlights or good details in dark textures or whatsoever, the average picture brightness, you know, when you watch my what was the last Star Wars Outlaws is also so there is not much difference in terms of the average picture brightness. SDR looks the same bright as HDR, but of course HDR plus specular highlights. But when you look Astro Bot, and it's exactly recorded as any other HDR versus SDR recording what I've done, the SDR is so much darker. You know, it's standard. That's 203 nits. That's how it is. That's what you get when you calibrate your TV. That's how it is. HDR, on the other hand, is just absolutely elevated. Absolutely. You know, you have on top, of course, the specular highlights, but because the average picture brightness is already so much higher, the contrast is not good anymore. So, and it looks off, you know, because people said, oh, you have to do your HDR SDR comparison with the same APL. So no, that's what you get when you have a calibrated TV and you switch from SDR to HDR. That's what you get. You get an absolute dark or a reference SDR picture. And then on the other hand, you get a way over brighten, washed out HDR picture. That's what you get.
And the thing is, HDR, and I don't want to sound like an expert because I am not, but what I've heard is that HDR is an absolute. It's absolute. It is supposed to look this way. And if the creative intent is what we see on SDR, and it should, because most people are playing on SDR, so definitely when they're making the game, I'm sure SDR is what they are working with. HDR shouldn't look like completely different. Like everything is raised and super bright, because that's not how it's supposed to be. HDR, of course, with brighter TVs, and we're gonna get a more punchier image with brighter highlights, and of course a higher APL, so the overall brightness might be higher because there's less limitations. But you shouldn't see a radical difference.
No.
Just because the display is brighter or the creative intent is now HDR. It shouldn't be completely different. It should be similar to the SDR, just a little bit more colorful with those highlights and more details. Just better.
Contrast-wise, it should be a complete different story. But again, in the regards of the average picture brightness, it should be very similar. Very, very similar, SDR, HDR. So, anyway, so we have a super chat. Thank you very much. Let me display this. Why I can't display this?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. I was trying to highlight some comments and I click on them and it's not.
No, I can highlight comments, as you can see here.
Okay.
But I can't highlight this super chat from Vote Natural Citizen Crusader. I'm clicking. Hey, why? What the hell? Maybe here. Oh, here. So why? Oh my God, StreamYard. Anyway, thank you very much. Vote Naturalized Citizen Crusader. $5. Thank you very much. Good evening. My question is, does VRR generally increase input lag even if DualSense controller is wired connected to PS5? So if this is off topic. No, that's not off topic. Off topic. All good. So first of all, VRR and the DualSense controller is a different story. So if you wire your DualSense controller and there's a channel which is focusing actually on controller stuff, and I will bring this up because I like to share this. But if you wire your DualSense, of course, you get a better input lag in regards of that. How much? Don't ask me. But VRR and DualSense wiring has nothing to do. That's a completely different story. So usually VRR.
So VRR increases the input lag a little bit. It does, but it's insignificant.
Yeah, I mean, if you play competitive or whatever, probably it's. I mean, if you play competitive, you always don't use VRR, you don't use VSync, you don't use this, and you have 580,000 frames, because that's how you get the best input lag, or in general. But yes, it depends on, of course, of your TV and of course what the frame rate is, because the higher the frame rate, the lower the input lag, I would say, in general. But but I don't think you will notice this. No.
So the thing is, the reason why I say it's insignificant is because the game rendering is so much more higher than the peripherals. That is, it doesn't make a huge difference. You're going to feel some games a lot more responsive than others. When you're using the same VRR, and even when you're getting the same frame rate in both games, one is going to feel more responsive than the other. Just because the input lag has a lot more to it. The peripherals are almost insignificant, in my opinion. This company is advertising that OLEDs have like 2 nanoseconds of responsiveness, and the input lag is so low. It doesn't really matter that much. Maybe if you are like a hyper competitive player, maybe you can feel that difference if you are a professional trying to win games or something like that. But
yeah,
I don't think it really matters at all.
So why can't I share this thing? Okay. So anyway, so I put in the comment section this YouTube channel, Daniel ZH.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of his videos.
So
Yeah, he's very good with the
actually
peripherals.
on, yeah. So he's focusing on the controller. So lately on controller setup and stuff like that, and he's doing a great job. And if you're interested in stuff like that, then that's the channel to go. To be honest, yeah. And he's measuring input lag. He's stuff like that. Just check it out. Say hello from my end, you know, and from Ariel, that he knows where you're coming from, because then he's happy. And yeah, check it out. Okay.
But yeah, I've seen him. He gets into the settings, like the best settings to play like Warzone, to get the best responsiveness, like the settings on the controller and all the stuff. And he measures that shit.
So again, thank you very much for the super chat. I hope we have answered your question. Hopefully. Okay. So okay, but anyway, so in general, with games, so I have to admit, I'm anyway more the strategy guy. You know what I mean? I like games like Civilization, Anno 1800, stuff like that. I like them really, really a lot. I played the beta version from Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Shit, I forgot. Then the new Call of Duty, which comes out, where the I think beta weekend is now, and I will do a very quick video about HDR, but it's actually more or less flawless, you know, in this game, as many other Call of Duty games, by the way, that just have no problems with HDR at all. And I played this game, and I was actually, because the gameplay was it is addictive actually, you know, because it's so fast. I really enjoyed, and I didn't notice it was already an hour that I played, you know. So this is actually where really I was not expecting much, because another Call of Duty, another, you know, it's over there. But this is really, wow. I was like, okay, cool. This is, you know, I need to look into this, you know. Maybe that's the new type of games what I need to play. I don't know.
Nice. You know why I'm trying to hit the comments and it's not letting me highlight them?
Did you set up your YouTube that you can actually have live chat replies and stuff like that?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Then
well, we'll figure it out another day. But I'm reading the comments, just trying to highlight them. It's not working.
So, okay. Yeah, I think it has to. I don't know if it's no. I can't, because it's working for me here on StreamYard, but maybe it's really a YouTube setting. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Let me just answer this here. Using black floor fixing games, where's the best place to lower old black point to 0? In darkest area, or looking at brightest point, or in brightest area in games? That's something for you to answer.
So yeah, definitely look at the darkness. The problem is sometimes the game gets darker. So sometimes you start a game, it looks washed out, and then you lower the black floor, and suddenly you cannot see anything. That's not very common, but it happens. So you do have to play the game. You have to, of course, if you're on the darkness, I think you should get perfect blacks, but that might not be the final settings. So really, if you think about it, the ultimate final settings, you will have those once you finish the game.
Yeah, and then you start.
You can spend the whole game tweaking it.
Yeah, but you're right. So the problem is really, you know, and that's why in a couple of games, so even you have some sort of a washed out picture look, I did not recommend to use any fine-tune dark area settings, for an example, because I saw during the cutscenes or whatever, the game is displaying perfect 0 black. It looks awesome, you know. So now, of course, when you go in and you decrease everything to get it right during the game or whatever, or certain moments, you crush everything in the other moments, which is terrible. So this is something what we call apparently creators intent. I don't know who are the creators are, because I would like to talk to them, you know, because I can't understand it, you know. Have you seen my Resident Evil video with the
Yeah.
black level, where you go into this bloody room, 0 nits, you walk out.
Yeah.
So what?
I think it's the smoke.
Yeah, but can you not do this in a different way? That
absolutely.
you still keep 0 and you add the fog on top, because then you have a much better contrast. Or maybe I'm missing something. Maybe that's not how it works. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a game developer. Maybe it's just easier doing this. You know?
No, absolutely. I've seen games that have a smoke and that doesn't affect the black level at all. But I've seen other games where the smoke definitely raises the black floor. Maybe they don't really care. The developers, they okay. I mean, and you can turn it off, the smoke, to see if that's the case. There's a Reshade add-on that is called Shader Toggler. That's very advanced. Basically, you can circle through the shaders, and once you find, so when you're circling through the shaders, things start to disappear. So once you see that the smoke disappears, and you say, okay, it's this one, and then you use the HDR analysis tool and see if the black floor is being affected. I saw that in Lies of P. The smoke definitely raises the black level, but it's not too terrible there. So yeah, I don't want to.
Lies of P is actually great HDR.
Yeah,
it has really good black level floor, and it's but yeah, I agree with you. It's but it's, you know, the problem is, yeah, I know you're focusing a lot on Reshade, and this is great. This software is absolutely fantastic, but it's a pain in the ass that we have to do all this stuff, you know. And it's so hard to actually recommend anything, because everybody is using a different monitor, different screen, and even you use the same TV, maybe you use a complete different picture mode. So how can you actually recommend something? It's so hard actually nowadays.
Yeah, that's why some people ask me, hey, why don't you have like a folder with all the Reshade stuff for all the games? And I tried that one time, but I don't think is the best. The best is you do it yourself because of that. You know, TV and settings and monitors are different, and maybe you're looking for something else. Maybe you want the picture to look different, so you better do it yourself.
So KG is going completely off topic here, and he's asking if we have Panasonic TVs in our region. I know I saw the news that Panasonic comes back to the US, which is fantastic. So I think they're just available in Europe so far. They are not available in Australia. No, I haven't seen any Panasonic TV here in Australia, and I'm not expecting them to come back. But they have one of the best OLED TVs, as far as I can tell, or according to reviews. They're using the same panels as LG, or I don't know if they're planning to do QD OLED. I'm not sure. QD OLED. Oh, okay, they bring a QD OLED. I should read the comment first.
No, he's saying hopefully. I watched the HD TV test review of that Panasonic that is coming to the US, and it's not better than the G4. It doesn't have the color boosting that the G4 has.
In the game mode,
yeah, the G4 is gonna look more colorful. Like if you have a fire on the darkness, those red colors are gonna look more colorful on the G4. And the problem with that Panasonic for gaming specifically is that you cannot turn off GSR. So GSR is the dimming that happens when you have static logos on the screen. And when we're playing games, most likely you have something that's like a health bar or something that's not moving. So you're going to start getting dimming with that. So that's a bummer. I hope, on the service menu, you can fix that. But usually HDTV test, when you can fix that on the service menu, he tells you. So probably not. So that for gaming is not great. Now that TV does have, he showed the calibration controls near black. You can tweak the gamma better than with any other OLED TV, because you can increase it or reduce it very close to 0. I think it was like 1.5 or something like that. I forgot. But that's great. That's great, because let's say you get your TV and it's crushing blacks a little bit. You have the calibration controls to really nail the visibility. And of course, if you're an expert or you pay for calibration, you can get a much better near black performance. And it also has, for gaming, it has some tone mapping options that HD TV test didn't show on that video, so I would like to see that. So it does have some nice features for gaming, but I don't think it's gonna be probably more expensive than the G4, maybe, I don't know. So if it's not better, it cannot be more expensive. That's the problem.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. I mean, but it's exciting. So more what's the more competitors, you know, is better. It's better because and this is by the way completely off topic now. I need to really say this because so many people, you know, because I'm doing console testing or whatever, so many people are so bloody stupid, you know, because they're so happy, you know, when Xbox is not selling consoles anymore because my PlayStation is doing so great. You don't get it. You know, if Xbox disappears, there's no competitor for Sony anymore. We're getting shit hardware, we're getting shit games, we're getting everything shit. Okay, so competitor is good. Okay, so full stop. It's with everything, you know. If you just have one car manufacturer, you're not getting a great car. You're getting shit, and you pay twice. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
So anyway, that's complete different story. Anyway. So, but yeah. So in terms of the G4, my plan is I don't know what the G5 will bring, but at some point with LG, I'm not expecting the absolute improvement anymore. I'm not expecting this because it's just done with WRGB OLEDs. I don't know what else can they do instead of, you know what I mean? They're done. They can't increase the brightness any higher at some point because everything looks washed out and in terms of colors at some point because they're using the white subpixel, you know?
Yeah, but they're going to. I watched a FOMO video about the new phosphorus blue that they're going to implement, and it's not gonna be like. I think he said it's gonna be like a hybrid between fluorescent and phosphorescent, something like that. So they might eliminate the white subpixel, and that would be great.
You mean you're doing a QD OLED?
No, it wouldn't be a QD OLED. It would just have the blue. It would be more powerful, so you don't need the white. Now, what I think, you know, looking at the brightness war, I don't think they're gonna eliminate the white subpixel. If they can get that brighter blue, they're just gonna be brighter.
Yeah,
and I don't think they're gonna eliminate that white.
My opinion after I have seen the G4 in the shop and also the S95D in the shop, never at my place. So it's really hard to say the G4 is much better than the S95D. In regards of the coating of reflection, I go with the G4 over the S95D. You know, because it doesn't make sense anymore, you know, to have this. I don't get it. You know, the S95C, what I have is the middle between LG and the S95C D at the moment. You know, it has this slightly raised black when you have lights on. Yes, but it's not like the S95D. But what I have to say, you know, I play when I like to play games, I always play on the S95D because it is just much better than my LG G2. It is because of the panel uniformity, and this is one of the most important things for me. You play a game like Astro Bot, which has very unique or simple colors in the background. You know, there's not much different. You just have a blue black background, let's say, and you strafe around. On the G2, you can see that the panel is not uniform, not perfect. The S95C is perfect. You can't see any issue. You know, you need to look very, very close to see a problem. That's why I would go with the S95C all the time over probably the G4. But in general, I think for most of the people, the G4 is probably the better choice. Probably with all the features, if they like to use those features, of course. It's hard to tell. So maybe I'm going to buy a G4 by end of the year if the price is okay, but I'm not sure if it's a big improvement over my S95C. I don't think
I'm telling you, what I am really excited about is those 3D TVs, glassless 3D TVs coming from TCL, and they're going to have an 8K through RGB.
8K.
Yeah, 8K through RGB, so it's gonna be inkjet printed OLEDs. The color saturation is gonna be great. The coating is gonna be like a cell phone, super black, super glossy, great. And glassless 3D. I think that's the TV to get. We just have to wait for it and see how much it costs.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, to be honest, I mean, it looks. I don't know if. I mean, look, if it's glassless, yeah, that's a complete different story. Because I started with the Panasonic plasma TVs, you know, where you had this 3D with the glasses, the active glasses, and it was wow but you can't watch long because of the flickering or whatever. It was not nice, you know. It was like, okay, this is 3D, but it's not perfect. Glassless, if you have this on board like HDR, something like that, complete different story. It can change everything.
Exactly. And it's not gonna be, and you're gonna be able to apply that to everything with the processing, most likely. So you're gonna play games looking like 3D. And by the way, I tried the 3D with passive glasses with that Sony TV that I check out, and I didn't get tired of it. So it was not like, oh, I'm getting sick of this 3D thing. You do have to watch everything dead center. So if you move a little bit up or down, things start to get messed. But yeah, I do enjoy 3D a lot. And actually, I still have to check out. I received a prototype with some 3D glasses and a software for the PC that allows you to watch all movie content on 3D using a specific player. There's a player that uses AI to simulate the 3D, and these glasses are being synchronized to the TV using a device with a software. So basically, I have these 3D glasses that work, and they are calibrated for my LG C1, and I can watch movies and stuff. I haven't done a video because I haven't had time to test it. It's not easy to set up. And because it doesn't work for games, honestly, I haven't been too, excited to try it because I actually don't have any movies or anything here to watch. But it's pretty cool. And the creator told me that he's actually working and trying to make it work for games, but there are some things that he doesn't have the power to do. But pretty cool. So I'm a big 3D fan. So yeah.
KG wrote, without competition, you're going to get more games like Concord from Sony. This was, yeah. This is so, yeah. I don't know what to say. This is. I think this is the worst game release ever. And of course, shutting down the servers already. I think on Friday they shut it down, the servers. Correct? Yeah, I think so. It's just absolutely. This is fun. This is absolutely fun. But sorry to say this. People like the game. Some people, the 20 people that played the game, it's crazy. It's crazy. How can you fail like that? Bloody hell. But anyway. Yeah, PlayStation 5 Pro is coming soon. Yeah, let's see. This is exciting actually, but on the other, let's see what this brings and how much it is.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. I'm probably gonna buy a PS5 Pro for a friend's kids, and they live close, so I will be making some videos if that happens. So hopefully that happens soon, and hopefully I can get one because once that comes out, it's gonna be like probably.
You think the scalper doing the same as you don't think they learned the lesson? Some of them lost a lot of money.
Well, yeah, I will. I'm not gonna pay scalper price or anything like that. So if I cannot get one,
no, me neither. Yeah. And this is just because no, you should not support this. On the other hand, of course, you would like to make content on the very first day, but that's how it is. You know what I mean? I'm not going to pay 1,000 Australian dollars just to get this. 5 days early or whatever. If I have to,
how much it's gonna be? The price is already.
I don't know.
I hope it's like maximum $700. I hope so. I don't know.
So what's the standard PlayStation 5 at the moment?
$500.
Okay.
$500. I bought a PlayStation 5, but the kid. So I gifted that to a kid that was not living here in the state, so I couldn't test it. I visit there, but then I came back, so I couldn't record videos. But this time, if I get the PS5 Pro, I will definitely make videos about it because it's gonna be close to me. So yeah.
I did a Glassless 3D demo at CES. I wasn't impressed, but to be fair, I was looking at some pretty low. Oh, okay, not actual content. Okay, so why are they doing this? Why are they having, you know, low quality at the CES?
Nice. I would like to try that. See,
it.
that's why CES is so cool, man. You can see those prototypes and all that stuff. There's a laptop that has glassless 3D today. Actually, I saw a video of someone testing Black Myth Wukong with that laptop.
Okay.
And he was very excited about it. He's like, you can play all the games on 3D glassless. This is awesome.
Yeah, uniformity is extremely important for gaming. You can't look at any TV after using a S95P. Yeah. Also, QD OLED is just in this case unbeatable. Full stop. It is. It is like I wouldn't. Okay, again, not like a day and night difference, but you can see a clear difference. Full stop. You know, the WRGB OLED TV, the G2 is really a nice panel when you watch HDR content. It's really great. You know, I love it. But when you look, when you watch sports stuff or whatever, where you have a unique color, one color on the background and you're moving around or whatever, it's terrible compared to QD OLED. Full stop. It's terrible. It's not like terrible as LCD. Don't get me wrong, but it's not good. And the thing is, you know, so I came from LCD, or you know, LCD with uniform, the stupid uniformity issues. LCD is always, even you have full local dimming, you will always have uniformity issues. Always. That's how it is, LCD, with all the layers. You can't avoid this. And then I bought the LG CX and I was like, oh my God, this is so great. You know, there's no problem at all. And of course, when you look closely, you can see issues. And then I changed to the QD OLED at some point. I was like, oh my God, this is really almost perfect. Yeah, there is a big difference. This is very important to me. Better, more important actually than to be honest, I would not use HDR, you know, if the panel has, or if there's a TV with no HDR support but perfect uniformity, I would play games on this. No HDR then, because that's how it is here.
Yeah, I wonder how good is the inkjet printed OLEDs when it comes to that screen uniformity. I guess they are really good, and I've seen they do have higher full screen brightness. They are not as bright when it comes to the peak brightness, but they do have, so they are going to appear brighter. Maybe 400 nits full screen or something like that is possible with that technology. And I much rather have that. I much rather have 400 nits full screen and 1000 peak than having 2000 peaks and 300 or 250 full screen.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with this type. I watched one video, I think, but that's it. I have to get more into this. But yeah. Let me answer, or let us try to answer this from Dan here. When do you think we start getting true 10-bit HDR so that we don't get more color banding every time HDR is turned on compared to SDR? Good question. I don't know. So I mean, we're getting a 10-bit HDR signal sent to the TV, but it's all the time, in most of the cases, it's just SDR color stretched to something. But I know what you mean. You know what I mean. We should get less color banding, but the problem is because we're putting the same information now in a signal which can deliver much more information. Of course, it gets stretched, you know, and of course you get more color banding. So that's the problem. But also it depends on the TV. The LG TVs, they're having much more color banding than the S95C. That's my experience. The S95C is much better in terms like that. So maybe someone can confirm this or whatever. That's my experience.
Yeah, so the thing is, I spoke with the developer, with an Unreal Engine developer, and he told me that for gaming, we're probably not going to see HDR textures anytime soon, because the game would need to have like a separate HDR texture pack or something like that. So I mean, I would like everything to be 4K or more, all the textures on the game, maybe 4K or more, everything to be HDR, the highest quality, highest fidelity. But that's probably not feasible. It would be maybe too demanding. We don't have powerful enough PCs or GPUs yet. So I mean, the ideal thing of everything being like maximum resolution, and it might never happen, or it might happen one day. But yeah, we don't have HDR, everything like real. Everything is like maximum fidelity and bitrate.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
No, not at this moment. No. It's most of the time it's really just they mastering this in SDR, and then I have the feeling sometimes just pressing a button, now it's HDR, and that's how it looks sometimes. Just terrible sometimes, you know. And
Yeah,
in most
actually,
games we have no HDR at all. Like Wukong and Space Marines 2, that by the way has no HDR as well.
HDR. Actually, one of the things that I would like these games today to have is that I want a 4K game that looks like 4K, and a lot of the assets on the game are very low resolution. So you think, oh, I'm playing at 4K on my 4K TV. Here's the resolution, 4K. A lot of things are very, very low resolution, and a lot of things that should have more pixels, like foliage, hair, and things that are very, very thin, but they are relying on TAA to fix that. And it's not working very well because I can still see shimmering, and it now looks blurry. So I wish this game's coming out, they turn down a lot of things to give you a more sharper and cleaner presentation. And a sharper and cleaner presentation is going to start with a good HDR and no blurriness, no over sharpening, and just more pixels, more resolution.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna use upscaling, but it's not the same to use upscaling from a very low resolution base than from something that looks decent already.
Of course, yeah. And that's the whole time when we're talking about, also I mean, we have seen it in Wukong, you showed it in one of the video, you zoomed in the background, and you compared this with Ghost of Tsushima, and you're absolutely right. Wukong is just a blurry mess. You can't just, there is something in the background, yes, but you can't really, what is it? In other games, and there are many other games where we have really nice details in the background, which are high resolution, which are not just a blurry mess because of upscaling. TAAs, by the way, is not nice at all, in my opinion, but that's how it is. And in some games, like with a lot of foliage or whatever, certain anti-aliasing options are causing so many issues, like dimming the picture, getting absolutely unsharp. Red Dead Redemption is a very good example. I'm not sure if it was TAA or something else, but when you disable all these crappy options, you have an absolute not a perfect, but a very sharp picture when you move around. As soon you enable this, yes, it doesn't shimmer anymore and stuff like that, but it doesn't get blurry. It's
the thing is with, for example, with Red Dead Redemption, you can turn off TAA, but the problem is that the LOD, the level of detail, is attached to this TAA, so you get popping like crazy. A lot of things just disappear. If you turn off TAA, it disappears. So there's a setting on the config file that you can change to increase the draw distance like crazy, but you wouldn't get like not even 30 frames per second with a 4090. If you max that out, it gets crazy. It looks amazing, but it gets absolutely nuts. So yeah, Red Dead is definitely an example of that.
Yeah, that's a good thing, KG. Usually Sunday morning, usually. Oh, for me morning, for you late evening. I don't know what time, but yes, let's do this.
Absolutely, man. I would love to. I've never spoke with KG yet.
So yeah, games in this one is absolutely games in 2024 shouldn't like a blurry mess anymore. So that's the thing. You're getting more because of this. I have to say, the stupid Unreal Engine 5, I don't like it anymore because it's so demanding. They're trying to get the frame rate to consoles. No, it's the engine. It's not the consoles, because I play games. You know, you can play games on PlayStation 4 or even PlayStation 3. They have a better picture quality than Wukong or Star Wars Outlaws. Picture quality. I'm not talking about graphical details, of course. We're not talking about this, of course. But that's the one of the problem, because we have now so many details in games. You know, every bloody leaf needs to be in a 3D animated whatever. You know what I mean? That's why there is no space for having a great frame rate without having, I don't know, you know, FSR 1.1 in use. I don't get this anyway.
So here's how I see the problem. For example, I complain about this.
Yeah.
No, TAA is blurry. It most of the time looks terrible, and the games need more pixels. And then a developer can tell me, "You're wrong. Look at Ratchet and Clank. You turn off anti-aliasing and Ratchet and Clank, and it looks broken. Things don't have enough pixels. It looks so pixelated. But you turn it on, and it looks amazing." So a developer can tell me, "See, TAA works, and it works very well. They just need to get it right." But that's the problem. If you have something that's very easy to get wrong, and most developers get it wrong, then that's not very good. We need something that most developers and most games can get right, so we can get it looking good.
Why is this the case? So in regards of, you know, I have really sometimes the feeling, and they're using the wrong monitor screens, full stop, because they would see these issues if they're playing on a proper monitor. And our LCD screen, sorry folks, but that's not the proper way to test a game. You have to have an OLED screen, full stop. And we're not talking about now testing HDR, which maybe you can do on an LCD screen, but then it's still not the best way. But in terms of motion clarity and stuff like that, you must use or even a plasma, you must use an CRT or something like that to make sure your game looks great, you know? OLED TV, LCD would be the absolute worst, because I tell you, I play every 30 FPS game on an LCD screen, and I'm not bothering about 30 FPS. It just looks blurry, messy, but there's no stuttering for me. On an OLED screen, 30 FPS, it's a no-go, full stop. So, and this is, I think, what many developers using. They're using a high-graded LCD screen, which color correction maybe is correct, but then when you move the game, just blurry, but, you know, and then you play on an OLED screen and say, oh my God, this is not, what is going on?
Yeah, at least one guy there needs to have an OLED on the whole company. Somebody who checks the quality at the end or something. I wanted to say about this too, that some people tell me if the industry doesn't move forward with TAA and with all of these techniques to make the games look more realistic, we would have games looking like PlayStation 3 games, and that's not better.
Yeah.
So here's how I see it. You show me a PlayStation 3 game. For example, let's take a look at LA Noire. I was playing LA Noire from Rockstar. That's a very old game. It's like a GTA-like game. I'm not sure if you've played this game. Well, the great game, by the way. The motion capture for this game is unique, and the facial expressions are like on another level. You can definitely understand human emotions with that game. It's crazy good. But now that game is very old. I was playing it. Yes, I see a lot of shimmering. So people might tell me, is that how you want the games to look? Shimmering everywhere, that's a mess. Not necessarily. Now, the game looks very sharp. It's razor sharp. At 4K, that game looks like 4K, but you get a lot of shimmering. So what I would do, for example, let's remaster that old game. What I would do is tell the developers, okay, we have more powerful PCs now. I can get 120 frames on that game at 8K. You know, DLDSR 2.25x, it looks like 8K. I can get 120 frames, no problem. So we definitely have performance to spare. Okay, well, give me more pixels so we can get rid of that shimmering. Okay, and let's just improve the lighting a little bit, improve the shadows, just make it look a little bit better, but make it look the best you can, but don't lose the sharpness. Don't tell me, oh, we want to use ray tracing and these reflections and this and that. So we're just gonna lower the pixels everywhere. We're gonna lower the sharpness of the game to sacrifice that to just give you ray tracing or whatever. That's a very bad idea, in my opinion.
Full agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, Adam is in the house in layman's terms, so check out his channel as well, please. He's writing, I still find it hard to believe that current gen consoles gaming still has so many 30 FPS titles coming out. 30 FPS should be banned. So the new Xbox game, what is the name? Oh shit, Avowed. I forgot. That's how you. I don't know how to pronounce, but you know what the title? What is 30 FPS only? 30 FPS only, and we like to have the best fidelity. Blah. It's 30 FPS is not Fidel. It's not.
And it's first person.
Yeah. What is Fidel on or good fidelity on 30 FPS? This is what they try to tell you to put in your mind. Just because they're using a crappy LCD screen, it's fine for them. No, I'm not agreeing. It's not.
And let me tell you, wait until once that PS5 Pro comes out, and they are pushing ray tracing. Let me tell you, that's the idea. It's a ray tracing monster. That's what they want to advertise. And I understand Sony, because how are they going to tell people this is so much better? Most people don't understand about higher FPS or resolution, but you can definitely market, the game is going to look better because it has ray tracing. So it's like a buzzword that might sell better. But expect, if they are trying to push even more, expect 30 FPS to be like the norm for every PS5 game. So if you're not playing on the Pro, you're getting 30 FPS, and that's not great.
Just this one quickly. For example, my brother's TV only supports HDR full RGB 8-bit with dithering. So he doesn't need to worry and doesn't need a TV that uses HDR full RGB 10-bit. He's just playing games with it. I mean, RGB dithering is just emulating 10-bit. You know what I mean? That's because you need to have 10-bit to have HDR. That's how it works. You know what I mean? But it depends always. So I think he's still talking about color bending. It really depends on. I have seen screens that have terrible color bending, and then you have the same source on a different screen, and it looks better, much better. So and I really think that's my honest belief. LG TVs. The LG TVs I have, the CX and the G2, are not good when it comes to color bending. Not at all. The S95C, what I have, is much, much better. Almost no color bending visible. And it's the same sharpness. So there's some processing what the LG is doing not in the correct way, maybe. Well, that's my experience, okay? And KG is running. Yeah, Saturday for me, got it. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, then let's focus on next Sunday for me, Saturday for you guys. So I'm living in the future.
Yeah, I mean, about that, I tested an LG LCD TV that supported 120 hertz with 12 bits and full RGB, and it looked like crap. It looks very, very bad. So that's not the end all be all. If it looks good, it's good. I don't think that really is gonna make any big difference. Of course, most of the high-end TVs, they support that higher fidelity, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is of course the TV and the content to be good. That's what we don't have sometimes.
Okay, so let's have a look. What do we have? So if you missed some comments, I'm very sorry. Just repeat it, okay? Please, with a Q in the front, it's much easier because we have million of comments, of course, 1.5 million viewers at the moment. Okay, not quite much, but you get my point. You know, it's a lot of comments. We're missing them sometimes. Sorry for that. Dan is writing Naughty Dog, The Last of Us 2 from 2020 running in 1080p on a 2013 hardware has a cleaner image quality than most current games run. Yeah, absolutely. It has nothing to do with resolution. So it has to do with resolution, of course, but the problem is nowadays the games are not running in 4040p. They're running at 700p upscale to 1440, something like that. You know what I mean? That's the problem. And then you have on top whatever anti-aliasing software is running or whatsoever, then here the bloody upscaler FSR is for me the worst. DLSS is already at some point you can see it's very good. You can see a difference between the native picture and DLSS. I would say high performance, because then it starts really to fall off. But DLSS is much better than FSR. But unfortunately, on the console we just have FSR. That's the problem.
So I think he's playing on a plasma though, because he's saying a 1080p from 2013. He probably has a Panasonic plasma, one of the latest one. And okay. The thing with plasma TVs is that the blurriness that I'm complaining about is not as noticeable. And actually, the games on the plasma look great until I played on my OLED. When I played on the OLED, I realized that, okay, this could be sharper and it could look a lot better, but it doesn't. So when there's something really bad about, fundamentally wrong about a game, if you cannot even, get that 4K, I mean, 4K should be much better than 1080p. It's not even close. If you have side by side a game that looks similar on a 1080p screen than on 4K, there's something wrong about it. And that's what I see. A lot of games on the plasma, they look perfect because you don't see that defect.
Yeah, so Play Nice Games is writing, they use cheap LCD to test games. I managed game testers when I worked in the industry. I truly believe that. Otherwise, I can't explain some things. Like not even talking about bad HDR at the moment, but this is one of the problem what we have, that we have in many games this 0.05 nits black level rays, which is and I started to see this in so many games, and then at some point I realized this is exactly the same ray. So it looks like, because of, and this is what I truly believe, because of my when I had my LCD Samsung local dimming TV, the S9, forgot, Q90 or whatever, local dimming
QN90B,
QN95B or whatever. I saw that this game is struggling to display fine details in very dark areas. Because if a game displays 0 nits and there's just one little dot which should be lined up, the Q95P was not showing this, because it was not recognizing this as anything. So, but as soon I increased manually the brightness in the game, or somehow it popped up, because the game, activated the dimming zones, or the TV. And then you saw this. Okay, it looks terrible because you have then this washed out look and whatsoever. But I think that's why they're doing this, to make sure that you can see, probably on very cheap TVs or whatsoever, you can see at least details, because they would not show the details, which is terrible. It's just terrible. But
it is bad. But I get what you're saying. On my TV, anything that's not 0 is going to show me something. It's not going to be accurate. But if it's not 0, the screen is gonna light up. So that's a problem.
Okay, what is this? Okay, Cosmo Kill. Seriously, folks, if your TV is properly track PUQ EOTF and HDR, or Gamma EOTF and SDR, you're going to experience banding and other artifacts. I mean, I mean, probably not. The TVs nowadays are very close to following a proper EOTF curve. So not the S95P probably. I'm not sure about that anymore. But the S95C, all the OLED TVs in the normal HDR10 mode, so LG OLED TVs, are properly following the EOTF curve. Not in Dolby Vision, by the way. No, Dolby Vision Gaming is way over brightened in Dolby Vision Gaming on the LG OLED TVs. But we shouldn't, just because of that, we shouldn't see more banding or less banding, to be honest, because it's a processing thing as well, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So again, the S95C shows almost no color banding with the same source. PlayStation 5, same game, same location. I can't see hardly any color banding. I put this on the LG G2 here, color banding. And it doesn't matter if I'm using PC mode and if I'm using the game mode. I even have the feeling that, and I made a video back then when I had my CX, I have even the feeling that in if I'm using YCBCR 420, the color banding is less compared to RGB. Because I think it's already not sending so much information. It's already a little bit unsharp or blurred or something like that, and the TV doesn't show the color bending. It's hard to describe, but yeah.
So the thing is, basically, even if your TV is calibrated, that doesn't mean that the content is gonna look great on your TV, because the content can be messed up. And we have color banding. Most of the time I see color banding, I believe it's the game. And sometimes these developers use film grain, for example, to hide the color banding. So when you turn film grain off, you see more color banding. So basically, they try to hide the imperfections with some blurriness and stuff so you cannot see the defects. I much rather have it clear. I would like NVIDIA to have RTX a smooth gradation or something like that, because they know how to do that, because RTX HDR reduces the color banding.
Yeah.
So I wish they had that separately for the developers. So you had that setting on the games. When you turn on HDR, you have like RTX smoothing or something like that to get rid of the color banding. Because when the source is clean, you don't see color banding anywhere. That's my opinion. That's what I've seen.
The source has to be perfect. If the source is already crap, there's not much you can do about it. That's how it is. And you make it worse, because all what you can do is unsharpen the picture, make it blurry or stuff like that. And there's not much. Play Nice Game is asking, have you thought about getting a Steam Deck? I mean, I was because I'm getting a lot of requests in regards of that, Steam Deck and HDR and stuff like that. And I thought about getting one, but that, to be very honest, it's I think $1,300 here in Australia. And I realized at some point I would probably never use the thing, for personal use, because most of the games, that's how it is. Even you have Steam Deck settings, are not even running with stable 30 FPS. So most of the games, So it's just the hardware is not good for me. Okay, if I like to play 30 FPS games, I'm going to play with my Switch. Okay, so that's why I'm not planning to get a Steam Deck. So maybe Steam Deck 2. Maybe that's a different option. The same as for Switch 2. I'm highly interested in this kind of stuff, but not the Steam Deck at the moment. No, it's just too much money for the hardware, what they're offering. I would like to test the HDR screen, and I reached out to Steam Deck if I can have a sample, but I need 1 million more subscribers to get an answer.
Yeah, and good luck playing Unreal Engine 5 games with a Steam Deck, because that's not powerful enough, and you're back to 30 FPS.
Yeah,
if you can even run it. So
that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, no. But yeah. Anyway, I personally, I don't know. What do you think about Unreal Engine 5? When they introduced this, I was like, oh, okay, this is great, and it looked fantastic. Don't get me wrong. You can Wukong, even on the PlayStation 5, looks fantastic when you're not moving. You look at the details, is wow, this looks really okay. This is great. 60 FPS, great. But then you start moving, it's a blurry mess. Star Wars Outlaws is even worse. Picture quality is terrible.
Actually, I'm surprised with Star Wars looking so bad, because they are using the Snowdrop engine, which looks very good. The Snowdrop engine in Avatar, I've never tried on my PC, but everyone says it looks great. And I did try the Division, and I like how the Division looked, and the performance was good too. But the thing with Unreal Engine is that it looks great on YouTube videos. Okay, the defects that I am complaining about, you cannot see those with YouTube videos. You see those when you actually play it on your OLED, your high-end PC at home. That's when you see the defects. When you look at low bitrate YouTube videos and stuff, it is a lot more noticeable to have better lighting and other stuff. But at the end, when you're actually playing the game, first of all, 30 FPS is not enough. Not even 60. For people who are used to play with a PC, they want a higher frame rate. So when you see that it's so difficult to get more than 60 frames, now the game looks blurry, and it has all these sharpness issues and motion issues, and that's when you see, okay, well, actually, this is not what I thought. Unreal Engine was looking great on the marketing material and the demos, but it's not actually looking great on the games. But I understand a developer telling me, no, actually, there's nothing wrong with the engine. You can make the games look fantastic. You just need to do a good job. And I believe you. The problem is that's not what we see. Every time a Real Engine game comes out, it has a bunch of visual problems and performance issues, stuttering and shader compilation stutterings, traversal stutterings, and especially when you turn on RTX and all that marketing thing. Basically, you have to turn it off at the end, even if you have 4090, if you just want to have a good experience with the game.
I mean, you're right. So it's not just Unreal Engine 5, because I'm watching my little one play. He's playing Fortnite like crazy. Okay, so and this is Unreal Engine 5, and it looks absolutely amazing, and it has a
great,
performance. I mean, of course, if you enable all the options, so there's my 4080 is struggling as well, but it looks wow. It looks really, really good. But you can have, with a decent option, a decent settings, you get 200 FPS if you want easily on a 4080, easy. And my little one is playing on a 3070 here right now, this PC, and he's getting easily 120 FPS with 1440p and medium settings, whatever. It looks absolutely fantastic. No blurry, no, it's sharp. There's no shimmering. So this is, of course, comes from the developer, from the Unreal Engine. They know how to use it. So yes, it's not just the engine, it's also the developer using it in the wrong way, maybe. Yeah,
I mean, if they cannot make Fortnite look good, I mean, that's their cash cow. I mean, that's the game that made Epic Games. That's probably most of the funding for Unreal Engine. I don't know. That has to look good. If it doesn't, I mean, how can they even convince developers to use that? But yeah.
See you, KG. See you next time on the live stream.
That would be great to have KG here.
Okay, here we have a question from JMW001. I'm calibrating Baldur's Gate 3 and using HDR analysis with LG C1. I adjust peak brightness symbol to 800 and max nits display 963. Is that fine?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get the questions.
Yeah, so basically what he's saying is that he's realizing that the game slider is not actually working. It's not giving him what he wants. Like, if you select 800, shouldn't it be 800? Yes, it should be 800. So I'll tell you what I do when I see that. I max out the in-game peak brightness, and then I do the tone mapping with Reshade. Because if I cannot trust the calibration controls from the game, I don't want the game to do the tone mapping. I must try to have Reshade. So you can use Lilium's HDR tone mapping. And then what you have to do, you max out the in-game peak brightness. Then you read with the HDR analysis tool, you read what is that actually. So then that's your maximum brightness. So that's the brightness of the content. You input that on the Lilium's HDR tone mapping shader, and then you input the target you want. You want 800. So if you see 4,500 on the game, for example, I don't know how much is Baldur's Gate, I forgot. And so you just enter 4,500 and then 800 for if that's what you're looking for HDIG. That's what I would do. I don't trust on the game sliders. If you select 800, it's 963. So
it's the same with Star Wars Outlaws. So Star Wars Outlaws is actually displaying 200 nits below the setting what you put in all the time, 200 nits low. I don't know why. So for 800 nits display, you need to set it actually to 1000 in the game, and then you have 800, which is weird. I don't know who is testing this and stuff like that. I don't know if they ever will fix it. It's not a big deal if you know it. But if you don't know it, you always run around with 200 nits less in specular highlights. And this can make a big difference. You can think, no, this doesn't look nice. I mean, HDR in Star Wars is anyway not perfect because we have black level rays and the specular highlight issues. But this is so usually the HDR in-game settings or sliders are not that 100% accurate, to be honest. Sometimes they are just, and what I found is also, so I'm not quite sure if this is the case here in Baldur's Gate. I can't remember actually if there was any issue, and I would need to double check again. Okay, but what I also found in many games, we have the HDR analyze tool gets slightly confused with TAA and aliasing stuff or whatever, and it's actually showing much more max. But you have to focus on specular highlights and where it actually ends. Don't look at the max nits because they're jumping around like crazy because of TAA or something like that, and displaying instead of 800, 1500. But that's not what is happening. It's just because the analyzer tool is confused. Maybe that's the same case here. I'm not quite sure.
Yes, and sometimes the opposite happens when you turn off TAA, then it starts jumping. So you have to. I only seen that in one game. I forgot which one. But yeah, you have to check for that. Don't be confused. If you see the top of the chart that's flickering up and not flickering, like jumping up and down, like unstable, like this, like that, that doesn't mean you're getting 963. It might be 800, but you have something that's like going up and down.
Yeah. That's very, very easy to see. As soon as you see this jumping around like crazy and nothing is actually happening on the screen, don't trust it. Okay.
Yeah. So those are rounding errors from the algorithm. From that calculation.
Doesn't Black Myth Wukong using frame generation to get 60 FPS on PlayStation 5? There was something. I haven't played it on PlayStation 5 since I tested it on PlayStation 5. But I have to admit I didn't feel a big difference in terms of input lag and stuff like that when I used the performance mode, because that's usually the case when you have frame generation coming from a very low frame rate. It's very bad, actually. So not in this case, to be honest. I might be wrong, but it felt okay. It felt like a 60 FPS game, in my opinion. And it's actually, in a game like that, very important that you have a responsive input. You know what I mean? Controls. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to play this game.
Yeah, I mean, if they start using frame generation to get 60 FPS, that's bad. Frame generation is to get 120 or more.
Immortals of Avium is using frame generation. I think it was the title with the first title ever on console, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And I saw so many videos, they're praising this, and oh my God, now we have 110 FPS here. Yeah, but you can't play it. It just feels wonky. It's stupid. Just use the standard 60 FPS mode, which already looks bad in this game because of Unreal Engine or what. I think they're using also Unreal Engine, yeah. But frame generation was terrible in this game. So I'm not sure if they fixed it or whatever they have done now. No, not good. But Wukong, no, it feels okay, to be honest. Then a video idea. Compare 720p PlayStation 3 game to yeah, okay, that's shocking how much worse image will. Bloody hell, yeah. I don't have a PlayStation 3 anymore, but you can play PlayStation 3 games on the PlayStation 5, So yeah, that's actually a good idea, There are many games, and there are actually, is it not true that on the PlayStation 3 we have actually more 60 FPS games?
Yeah.
Sorry? Yeah,
on the PlayStation 2.
More 60 FPS games than on the PlayStation 5? This is just crazy, It's just crazy, I mean, I was happy with the, there's now, this is actually really a good idea. Just focusing on image, so picture quality or image quality, whatever is the right word for this. I think probably image quality, because people always thinking, graphic. Yeah, graphic details is a complete different story to image quality, in my opinion. I can have so great details, you zoom in, and that's what many, that's not sometimes what I'm doing in my videos as well. You zoom in like crazy to look. That's the difference between quality and performance. You have this pixel here, what you can see, but when you play a game, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All what is matter is really image quality between quality and performance mode. That's for me more important, because if you have a downgrade like crazy, there's no point then to have a 60 FPS mode, in my opinion. But
Well,
Yeah.
I wish one day one of these developers ask my opinion, sends me a review sample or something like that. I haven't reached out to any developers. I think you got something from Ubisoft. You got some review samples for the games.
Yeah.
Do they listen to feedback? Like if you send them an email and you tell them, "Hey, this is like terrible here," do you think they will fix it?
No. So look. I think no. I don't think they would listen because not that they wouldn't listen, but probably because I'm not big enough, to say this. And on the other hand, you need to be. I don't know how it is really, because I'm very grateful. Actually, I'm appreciating this that I'm getting review codes, especially from Ubisoft Australia. Thank you very much, Laura. She's my contact there. So I really appreciate this because this is how you get in the same race like bigger channels like Digital Foundry. If you get the game earlier and you can do a proper testing without any time pressure, oh my god, this is so much easier. I'm not even talking about the money what you save. I'm more than happy to pay the money for early access. It's not about the money, but it's about the early access. Okay, and I don't want to upset them, by just this is just stupid. Fuck, it's not good. No, don't. I don't want to do this. You have to have a proper criticizing, on a certain level. Of course, like you can criticize HDR, but in a decent way,
Yeah, it needs to be fair. You need to be fair, and
I don't think they would listening, to be honest, because no, I don't think so, because they don't even know I'm existing. You know what I mean? That's how it is. Maybe at some point. Maybe, yeah. But here, Solo's Broken Sword discussing at the start. Hype. Love this game. Pure classic. Absolutely. And I'm going to buy the remastered remake. There's already a remake or whatever for the Nintendo Switch, I think. I never played this, but now the game comes for the PlayStation 5 and remastered, remaked, whatever you call it, for PC with 4K graphics and stuff like that. So I'm going to get this, but I'm not expecting the same hype from 25 years ago. I don't know. I think that's yeah.
And when you play an old game like that you have great memories, now you're gonna realize that the game doesn't look like you remember it. Even if it's a remaster, you might remember it be looking better.
I know. So really, that's what I played. Really, I mean, that's how it is. Really, yeah. I remember when I played Formula One, the first Formula One game, Formula One 97 on the PlayStation 1. Oh, I think it was PlayStation 1. I was playing this game like crazy with this Neckon controller. You remember this one where you do this? It was much better than a steering wheel. You had this controller and you steer like this, and it's so much better than a wheel for me. And I played this like crazy. And just a couple of weeks, I looked back a couple of old videos on YouTube. Say, really? You can't see anything. There's no details. What is this for a resolution? And I played this up and down. But I think it's probably because you played on a CRT, on a small CRT, 32-inch. It's a complete different story. Because you sit
I had a
away,
PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
I had a PlayStation 1. I played this Metal Gear, the first one. Remember, you have to change the disc in the middle of the game to go to the next thing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
There was games, yeah. Bloody hell. Tyler T here. What games are using full wide color gamut today? So in theory, so from a technical point of view, all HDR games using it, but they're not using it. So you get my point. So because it's HDR, it's 10-bit, they're using it. Okay, so it's displaying it can display BT 2020, but most of the games are still using the SDR color range. So there's just one game. What was the name? Motorfest from Ubisoft, which had one level where BT 2020 and DCI-P3 was heavily used, but it was an absolutely colorful level, absolutely not realistic. And this is what people need to understand as well. Just because there is just SDR color space in use, that doesn't mean you miss out anything. That's not the case. It's not the case, okay? So because not all the colors are displayed in the BT 2020 color range. SDR color range is for most of the colors absolutely okay. Okay, so this is what we need to consider. Okay, it would be great, of course, to use the full spectrum to have a more, because video games necessarily doesn't need to look realistic. Okay, certain games. Okay, so you can have a little bit more of a poppy picture, let's say like this, but it's I don't know.
But I think what people expect with HDR is something closer to how RTX HDR looks. It looks more colorful than most native HDR games sometimes, and it might look a little bit overly saturated in some cases. But that's how people want the games to look, and Nvidia knows that. I think they nailed the settings for RTX HDR. If that's what you're looking for, just use that instead. If you have the performance.
Here the question: do you have any info or if your settings for the Witcher 3 HDR still work? Because whatever I maxed value or not, the game is capped 700 for some reason. Oh, okay. I'm not quite sure. So they changed HDR with the next gen patch. So this was the first thing. And then at some point they had this patch 4.1, I think it was, and they changed HDR again. They put a slider in or whatever for the, was it brightness or was it black level? I can't remember. It's already a long time ago, but maybe they changed something again. And there was an issue, I think, with the limitation, because you had to increase there was 2 sliders, I think, at the end. I can't remember, to be honest. But there was an issue with the maximum peak brightness. Yes, maybe that's still the case. I really don't know. But on the PC, I think if you're playing on the PC, you can change the maximum peak brightness, I think, in the ini file, in the settings file. But to be very honest, check my video. I'm not quite sure. Maybe they changed again. It's possible. It's possible, okay? Here we have someone for you. I can't pronounce this, but this is, hey, Plasma Man.
How's it going? Plasma Man.
You're the Plasma Man. Okay, so let me just quickly read the comment section if we have anything what we missed. Hi, I'm South Korean. Do you know BTS K-pop? No. I have no idea what you're talking about, to be honest. Sorry.
Yeah, let me read some comments. So I cannot highlight them for some reason. We'll figure that out next time.
Yeah. It's probably maybe just an issue with YouTube settings. Maybe I'm not sure. This one is for you here, Plasma. What are your thoughts on the Dolby Atmos window implementation, and is that something you have looked into? I think it's a must-have for immersive experience, even that it's not perfect.
I haven't tried it. What I tried was a program. First of all, to set up a surround system and Windows is so. It's a mess. You have to pay money. I was surprised with that. Yeah, I got an AV receiver with some speakers, and I was surprised that to use this Dolby stuff, DTS, all this stuff, you have to pay like for some drivers on the Microsoft store. And I'm like, no way, I'm gonna pay to use the the audio hardware that I have. It just doesn't make any sense. So I had to watch a YouTube video. I shared that in one of the videos. And I basically downloaded everything for free, of course. So that gives me like a simulated Dolby or something like that. So basically to make the surround system work. But I haven't tried Dolby Atmos. I don't have high-end audio. So I just hope that if it's working, it doesn't have any added input lag or something like that for a better audio, because in games, you don't want to be shooting and then listening to a delay for higher quality audio.
That's what I'm getting sometimes when I'm using Dolby Digital or whatever. If it's not directly connected with so if you use what's the name? If you're not connecting your let's say console directly to the receiver, or you're going into the TV and the TV is displaying or providing the sound to the receiver, I have always a huge sound delay, which is terrible. So I can't.
So the optical connector, you connect that from the PS5, not from the TV.
So if you use optical, I don't even know. Does the PlayStation 5 has optical output? Really? I can't remember. But yeah, this would be the preferred way, to go directly to the receiver. So if you have an HDMI 2.1 receiver, you always should go from your PlayStation to the receiver and then to the TV. So not the other way around, to use see, I forgot what the name is. What is the sound connection between TV and receiver?
Well, there's
advanced sound. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Bloody hell, really. But anyway, this is causing issues. So not on all receiver. Probably it depends what TV and what receiver you're using. But in my case, Samsung TV and Pioneer receiver, it has huge sound delay if I'm doing this.
Yeah, I was
HDMI ERC. Yes, this one. That's the one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I was going to make a video. I got excited because I said, "Oh man, this is gonna be awesome for a lot of people to improve the audio." I thought a lot of people have this Bluetooth speakers, and some of them sound very good. Some of them are very high end. So you can actually connect this to your modern TV, at least on my LG C1, and you can put it on the back. And on the settings on the TV, you can say, this is a single speaker and it's going to be on my back. And that's awesome, because then you have the audio from the TV coming from the front, and then you have this thing from the back. So when you're playing a game, it's nicer because you hear things coming from the back, like if they're shooting at you or something. But you get a delay. So that was like, okay, that's a deal breaker. Nobody's going to use that. If for gaming, if you get a delay, there's no way. It's unusable. But I thought it was a cool idea. If I didn't get a delay with it, it would be awesome. And I think a lot of people would use it, because a lot of people don't want to spend money on audio or AV receivers or whatever, but they have a speaker like this laying around, and this sounds great, by the way. This speaker sounds crazy good for what it is. So a lot of people have something like this and just put it on the back and get a better audio. That'll be great, but yeah, you get a delay, it's not good.
So that's a question for you from in layman's term.
Plasma TV, what's your primary TV? Do you walk the walk and still rock an old school plasma TV, or do you use something modern? Well, let me tell you, I do use my plasma TV. Right now, this new house that I moved is an old house, a big old house. And I have to fix the electrical system on this house so I can use my plasma TV, because it draws a lot of power. I have it, especially because I have the plasma, change on the service menu, so it is brighter, and it draws like 600 watts, 500 to 600 watts. So that plus my PC, it basically the system shuts down. I cannot use it right now. I cannot use my plasma TV for gaming. I have to wait until we fix that, and we're gonna fix it for sure. But the plasma, I use it mainly for games where I cannot get the performance. So if I cannot get a good enough performance and the game looks kind of blurry or whatever, on my plasma TV is just 1080p. I can even use NVIDIA DLSR, max out the graphics in most games, and they look good. I don't have a lot of complaints when it comes to sharpness, and the plasma looks 4 times better, almost 4 times better than sample and hold. So 60 FPS on the plasma, if you pan the camera slow enough, looks like 240. It can look as good as 240 frames per second. So that looks very good. Now, the input lag is not great, especially on this one. But there are other plasmas that do have better input lag. But it's a very, very colorful TV. This one I have is Pioneer Kuro. The colors are wild. It's more colorful than my LG C1. It has some green colors that are just ferocious green colors that I get on this plasma. So I enjoy it. And the contrast is very good too, because it's a self-emissive display. And it looks great, man. The viewing angles are absolutely perfect. Like you don't have to look at dead center. It looks great. So I like it a lot. I'm not gonna say it's better than any of the modern OLEDs that we have, but if you can get a cheap plasma TV, I would say go for it, because it's a very interesting technology.
Yeah. So Dan is asking, so PlayStation 4 is optical, PlayStation 5 doesn't. Does the PlayStation 5 have delayed audio through ERC on the LG TV? So for me, yes. But I think it's the problem is also, it's not just the LG TV, it's also the receiver probably, what I'm using. So, but I'm not sure. So I'm not the audio expert. So there are different channels for asking this question. But I think it's part of, so the combination between TV and receiver is the problem, not the PlayStation 5, because PlayStation 5 is just delivering the sound or picture. What the TV is doing, or maybe changing the picture, changing the audio signal, whatever, that's a big problem. But again, if you have an HDMI 2.1 receiver, I would always go into the receiver first and then go out to the TV in regards of audio, because this is how I learned from many people that told me that's the way to do it because of the audio delay, you know. So you don't have necessarily a picture delay. It looks like they're smarter in regards of picture, because they have something like they're doing pass through, you know, just the same picture, what you get, just get it through, and it's digital, so you're not losing anything. You should not lose anything, you know, that's the thing.
And by the way, the AV receiver that I have is a monster. It's from 1999, okay? And it still sounds amazing, but that thing is so power hungry. I forgot how much, but I think that's like 500 watts more. It gets very hot, extremely hot, but it works. And it's very, very heavy. It's a tank. 1999. That was a different era of quality.
Yeah. Nowadays, when you pick up modern receivers, you think there's no weight anymore. So what are they putting in? So it's I'm not saying they're bad, but you know, back then, so for me, audio, when it comes to speakers, a speaker has to be heavy, full stop. If because of the what is the word, resonance, you know, if something is vibrating because of sound, it's changing the sound, you know. That's why some speakers are actually made from stone, because there's no vibration in them, or less vibration in the material compared to wood. You know what I mean? A speaker has to be very, very heavy, you know. The same with receivers. You have to have a transformer like this. They have a proper stable support for when the bass kicks in and stuff like that, to have no bad sound. You know, I don't know how to explain this, to be honest, but that's how it. Okay, let's try to answer one or two more questions, and I think we're going into the 2-hour mark, and I think we should keep it below 2 hours. What is this here? What is this here? Marcel, I'm using an LG CX. Good choice. My Xbox Series X was a good choice. It's directly connected to the TV, and from the TV, a second HDMI cable arc goes to my AV receiver. I haven't any sound delay. Okay, maybe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's it's a receiver issue, because it's digital. You shouldn't have any. If it's passed through, everything is passed through. It means you get the same signal in, out, and because it's digital, nothing is changing. You shouldn't experience any delay. Of course, there's always very, very minor delay, but probably you need to have a measurement tool to measure this delay. But there shouldn't be like, you know, I'm pressing a shooting, you know, click, and 1 second later I can hear the shooting sound. This is terribly wrong, and I can't change this. As soon as I'm connecting, when I'm playing here, because there's an optical cable coming from the LG G2 to the Logitech Z906 or whatever it is. No sound delay. No sound delay at all, because it's with optical. Okay. As soon as I'm connecting this TV, the very same TV on my receiver, and I tested this, I can, whatever I change, it doesn't matter, I have sound delay. As soon as I'm using Dolby Digital. Okay. So if I'm using stereo, no sound delay. I don't know why. It's pain.
And the optical cable, it seems like it's going away. Like it's like old stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. It's optical. There's no delay there. I want to answer this comment on this from Ahmed Wolf. He says, "Did you guys saw the new ROG 1440p 480 monitor? That's an OLED, 480 hertz OLED. A lot of people ask me about this. It has a matte finish. I don't have anything. Not interested. Yeah. why are they putting a matte finish on a high-end monitor? Yeah, it's OLED. It's 480 hertz. That's great. That's gonna be 2 milliseconds of persistence, equal to 2 pixels of motion blur when moving at 1000 pixels per second. So basically, you move the UFO test, and you just open the UFO test, that thing is moving at double the speed, 960 pixels per second. You will be able to see the pupils of the alien moving left to right, but they will look a little bit blurry. Not a big deal. It's gonna look very clear. So that's awesome, but a matte finish. A matte finish is just a no-go for high-end gaming stuff. I've seen some close-up pictures of a matte finish versus glossy, and the matte finish looks like if you have a wet, you know, a wet plastic or something like that. It's just blurry. It's a mess.
Yeah,
it's
it
a
looks
terrible
like,
idea, in my opinion.
I
It's
know
a
what you
WRGB.
mean. Because so this that's an OLED screen here from Pixio.
Yeah, it's a WRGB OLED.
Yes, from LG, it's a LG panel, but it's matte. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's matte, and the colors when I'm so it's not. If this one is much better. So the colors are popping much more here, you know, than here. It looks like there's something like a curtain, you know, something like that. And I know what you mean. It's much better. I think probably that they're still using matte finish because maybe because it's a screen, because that's what you use on a PC, because in office it has to be made because of reflection stuff. I understand that, but we're talking about a gaming monitor. You know, you're not having lights on or direct light coming to the screen or whatever. You shouldn't have this anyway. You know, even you have a matte. Oh my god, you have a matte screen. Yeah,
I mean,
so you shouldn't have
but
this.
my working laptop has a glossy screen. It's an LCD glossy screen. Is touchable screen, and it looks fantastic just because it's glossy. I mean, even for working, gloss is better. I don't see any advantages whatsoever.
I agree. That's just how it is. Yeah, that's my opinion as well. I mean, everybody is different, but I like this. Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, unfortunately, it has a matte finish. I would not. And the thing is, I would like, eventually, I would like to get some review products from these companies, especially monitors. TVs, they are just too expensive. I don't think they will ever send me a TV. It's just too much money. But monitors, maybe. But the thing is, I would not ask for a review sample of that monitor, because I'm just gonna tell you, okay, I don't care about anything about this monitor. I just don't care about it. It has a matte finish. So why would I tell this company, send me that, to just bash the product and just tell them, oh, this is crap?
Bad. I mean, look, I received so far 2 monitors to test. The KTC, which you can see here, maybe. That's a local dimming, 1000 nits, full screen, white, by the way, 800 nits. It's unbelievable. But I received this one and this TV, this screen, what I'm using here. And I'm not getting any more review samples from those companies because I was not impressed with the monitors. And I made this very clear in my reviews, you know what I mean? Because I'm getting this for free. I'm not an influencer and tell you, oh my god, this is the best monitor you can buy. Bullshit, it's not. Sorry to say that.
Really?
No.
They told you, okay,
no, you can reach out after that. You're not getting any reply anymore, you know? So this is either a one-time thing, you know, because it's not done by the company. So I had a contact from KTC directly, but with this screen, it was a marketing company. But I'm not expecting anything here, because if you're not praising why would they reach out to you again? You know, if you do a bad review, or not bad review, you're stating the facts. You know, that's how it is. And in case of this screen, because it has just HDMI 2.0 on a brand new OLED screen, I said this is a no-go for consoles. Absolutely no-go. You need HDMI 2.1, VRR, this. You need HDMI 2.1. It's limited. The only thing where it's working is with PC. But, you know, great. But then even HDR isn't that great and stuff like that. It's just a okay monitor, not a good one, you know. The same with this one.
I mean, honestly, if I ever ask for a product, it's because I believe it's very good and I'm going to like it. Because I don't want to just get a product to say it's bad and I don't recommend it. But I've get some emails from some companies asking me to get their products and review and stuff. But it's nothing about what I talk about. So I'm like, why would I review a ladder or something, a desk or something? I never talk about those things. So it doesn't make sense for my channel.
Yeah, I forget about this stuff anyway. You know what I mean? Forget about.
But
this.
I got an email from one of these companies, and they're like, okay, you make the video, you send it to us, and then we give you the green light if you can post it or not or make a correction. I'm like, no, you send me a product, I say whatever I want about it, and it's my channel. So so you either do that or we don't do business, because I'm not here to promote something that I don't like.
Yeah, then tell me I have to do advertising and we're talking about the price, and then I would put big advertising letter in. So that's
if it's not a review, if it's a sponsored video, that would be different.
I mean,
but I don't really want to sponsor or endorse something that I don't like or it has nothing to do with the channel.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see any ads or nothing from me, because I am like very, very hard with that thing. I don't really care that much about it.
You like to be independent, as long as possible. And that's how it is. You like to be independent, and as soon you're relying on stuff like free stuff, which has, of course, don't get me wrong, getting games in advance is a big benefit, full stop, because you don't need to rush. You can do your testing proper way and stuff like that, and on the release day or on the embargo day, you can publish your video, which brings you more views, full stop. That's how it is.
Absolutely.
But as soon it would come with a, hey, we're giving you a game, but you have to say this, and this. You can't say this, and this. I would say, nah, thank you very much. I buying the game, my audience, because this is also the thing. The audience will appreciate this, to be honest, that you're fair, because that's how it is. Look at so many reviews from games, and even with Horizon Forbidden West in the very beginning, when the game was released on the PlayStation 5, no one was talking about the terrible picture quality. Just a couple of very minor channels, including myself, was actually bringing this up, and we got so much hate from the Sony fans and whatever. But this is what you should do. You should state the facts and not just influence or promote.
But that's what I like about the YouTube channel. I can say whatever I want. It's my channel.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like canceling level of stuff. And I don't like to curse anyways.
Be fair and state the facts. Don't make things up which are not true or whatever. And that's how it is. Anyway, I like to finish the stream because it's 2 hours, and I have full house with kids and whatever, and I can hear them already getting up and making noise. But anyway, this was a fantastic stream in my opinion. Absolutely fantastic.
Man.
Great audience.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, we had great visitors.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, and next Sunday again. So is 9 a.m. actually good for you? For me, it's fine. I can do even earlier if you you know what I mean. I'm not getting a lot of viewers from Australia because we're still sleeping here, but that's how it is. I can't change it.
Yeah, it works for me. I mean, this time we did today works very well.
Okay.
I was some guitar lessons before. I had some time to take a shower and eat something. So yeah.
Perfect. Then let's do it. My time, Sunday 9 a.m., which is Saturday evening for you. But let's do it. Okay. Let's do it again next
Sounds
Sunday.
good. Well, thanks for everyone who showed up. Yeah. And man, we have to figure this out. Next time, I want to be reading some comments and highlighting them too, because I couldn't.
But last time you were able to, huh?
No, last time I couldn't do it either. I don't know which setting it is.
Check YouTube. You have this YouTube setting where you have live replays.
I have both checked. I check both things. I don't know. At the beginning, when we started doing this, I was just reading the comments and I click on it and it pops. But now it doesn't work. I'm reading the comments here and it does nothing. I click on them, it does nothing. So yeah, we have to figure that out.
Okay,
see what's going on.
Not sure about that. to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll figure this out. Okay, no worries. Okay, perfect. Okay. Thank you very much, guys, and we see you next time, next Sunday. Okay, oh, Saturday, whenever. Where are you? Okay, see you.
Take care. Bye.